Imagine only answering the calls that you want and ignoring the rest with ease. That's what I'm building on my first devlog video. My name is Philip. In this video series, I will be showing you how I'm building a call screening on the iPhone. At the moment, call screening is one of the many features that Apple has yet to implement on the iPhone that has been on Android phones for the last 6 years. So you might ask, what is call screening? A call screener essentially helps you assess who's calling you, why they're calling you, and whether or not you should answer the call. Typically, they're used for filtering any unwanted calls that are trying to reach your phone, such as a telemarketer, a spam caller, or even scammers trying to get you to buy something, so you can be less distracted and be more productive as you manage your calls more effectively. I initially took this as a challenge to build one from scratch and take this as an opportunity to learn Swift and Xcode. And if you haven't seen this video, basically I started this project during my time on Buildspace when they are still active. Well, since this is my first devlog video, I want to take you back how it all got started and where I am today. There won't be any developing in this episode, but stick around because in the future episodes I will dive into the development process, how I'm designing these things, how I'm implementing these things. The idea really came from my previous project that I worked on this video, where I showed you how I built a call assistant from scratch. The problem with that call assistant is that it felt very limited and you had to fully rely on the AI to interact with the caller, and there was very little customization. I knew that there had to be a better way of doing this, and which led me down the rabbit hole. I discovered that Google has built a call screener 6 years ago, and only last year was when Apple integrated something called a live voicemail, and they're not even close to each other. So at first I implemented the first iteration here on the web, as you can see here, and here is the first version of the application. It kind of just shows you how the call is being transcribed in real time and how I'm able to send out custom messages directly on the same call. Actually, just getting it to work from this point, I actually learned so many things about managing multiple real-time systems, you know, WebSockets, different third-party services, different AI services as well. And as you can see, this is the first iteration of the application, and I use this as a base foundation for what I'm going to be building on Swift. And then fast forward during my time on Buildspace, which I done custom dynamic island. I essentially got the transcription service working here. I even included a feature where you can get the AI to suggest the next few messages for you, and that would then be spoken in the same call. And then later I was able to save these messages to a database, and then you can scroll through these and see your previous conversations. And then even after Buildspace, I kept on working on the application. Eventually I was able to add the call assistant in the beginning of the video as part of the main application that you're seeing right now. And currently it serves as a backup feature. When you do miss a phone call, the caller would then be transferred directly to your AI, which would then handle it for you and then send you some call summaries and stuff. As you can see here, this is how we're working, and there are still plenty of issues as I show these, and it's still very in beta mode, so yeah. And then more recently, one of the major breakthroughs of building this app is actually allowing the call to be transferred to the app, which means that you're not able to accept any callers onto the app and speak to them directly as just like any normal phone call. And at the moment it's still very early to speak more about this, but managing it, getting to work finally onto the app is essentially just completes the entire primary features. So all the things I planned out from the very beginning of this application is now on, and it really just requires getting through all these other problems and then getting through all the bugs and then making sure that it's working as fast as possible. But now that I've got all the most important features working, I want to just move on to my future plans for this application. And as I said it in the Buildspace video, that the app might not be suited for mainstream use, but after several amount of testing and actually reaching to the point where you can now speak directly to the caller onto the same app, I'm convinced that this might even replace the phone app on your phone. I know that's quite a bit of an overreach, but it really just motivates me to work more on this application. Honestly, I just want to keep building on this, and I just want to keep building on it before Apple even releases their own version because they most likely will. And I have plenty of features that are still work in progress, that requires designing, that requires some research on how to get it implemented. And of course, eventually what I plan to do in the future is to store the messages directly on the local device, to run the services that I'm using onto the same local device so that it can run in offline uses. I'd say like one of the biggest challenges for working on this app is getting past the App Store review process, because this does require having a second number, and there are still, like I said before, there are still things that still need to be implemented, debug, design, and research. But regardless, I'm having so much fun in building this app, and whether or not it makes it to the App Store, it really, I'm honestly just getting to the point of seeing it working is the most fulfilling part of this building this app. And at the moment, I'm really just moving the goalposts as further as much possible, and I do want to see myself eventually releasing my first app on the App Store, because I've never done it before, and I think it's gonna be exciting. I've made several breakthroughs already in recent months, and I've overcame a bunch of obstacles to getting this app to work that I wish I had devlogged here on YouTube. You know, I could go back in time and recreate how it all happened, but I'm not gonna do that. And the app is far from finished, and there are still plenty of things to build, design, and research. And I just want to use this series as a way to showcase my progress each week, show you what you can do on Swift and Apple devices, and maybe perhaps inspire any iOS developers, get some of your feedback down there on the comment section, and hold myself accountable, because this project is well overdue. So I hope you guys are interested in this journey of how I'm building the app, and you're welcome to stick around in the series on YouTube, or you can even check out my other socials and follow me from there. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where we dive into the development side of the iPhone teletype.